Hey guys, so today I want to show you one of my favorite fall-winter side dishes. This is my red quinoa with roasted butternut squash, dried cranberries, and pumpkin seeds. So this butternut squash side dish features red quinoa, which is my favorite kind of quinoa, mostly for the color, but I think the red also has a little bit more of a nutty flavor. But you could also substitute your favorite grain in this recipe, so it doesn't have to be quinoa. It could be wild rice, for example, or it could be bulgur even. The idea is that this is a really filling grain salad. So to start this recipe, what I do is I roast cubed up butternut squash with some sliced red onion and some garlic in their skins. Once the garlic is roasted, I'll squeeze them out of their skins, mash them up, and this will go into the vinaigrette, which will end up tying together this entire side dish. And also in the vinaigrette, I'll have some freshly grated ginger. And for this, the main flavorings are what I would consider my fall favorites. So I've got dried cranberries and I've got these beautiful pumpkin seeds. I consider this a side dish, but honestly, with the addition of quinoa, it could also be a protein-packed main. So let's get started on this festive fall-winter side dish, this red quinoa with roasted butternut squash salad. So to start the recipe, I'm going to slice up this red onion. What I like to do is cut them into crescent shapes. So the idea is that you want the pieces in really large, like half moon shapes, and this way they won't burn as much in the oven. But I do like to cut out the core because this tender core usually ends up burning anyway. So what I'll do is I'll take out some of the small petals, and for this I'll do like a cut like that, and then for these around that size like that. But I do like to take them apart a little bit just because I want them to be scattered throughout. Okay, and I'm going to add this to my baking sheet. And now for the butternut squash. So I'm going to start by cutting off the top here. And I'm going to cut it in half at the waist. This will make it easier to peel. And I'm going to cut this seed part in half. And this will make it easier to gut it. And now to peel the butternut squash. Okay, and then now we're going to cut these planks up into cubes. Okay, and then for these bottom halves, what I like to do is cut them into wedges. And then same deal, just cut them into cubes. And I'm going to add my cloves of garlic in their skins. And now I'm going to give them a good salting and peppering. And of course, a couple of tablespoons of oil. And I'm going to roll up my sleeves. I'm going to get in here and mix it all together. And here too, if you find some onions still stuck together, you can just take them apart. Also, what I like to do is have the onions more toward the middle. If they're at the edge of the pan, they tend to burn a little bit. Okay, and you want to just spread this out so it's almost an even layer. And now this can go into the oven, which I've had preheating at 375 degrees. You want to roast this for a minimum of 20 minutes, but up to 30. You want to make sure that everything's nice and brown, that the onions are nice and soft, but also kind of caramelized. Basically, you're looking for everything to look really yummy and brown. And while the butternut squash is roasting, I'm going to cook the quinoa. So I have some water already boiling, and I'm just going to give the quinoa a rinse. You want to make sure to rinse quinoa because it has this coating on the outside of the seed, which for some people it causes a little bit of stomach discomfort. I'm usually one of those people as well, so I always make sure to rinse my quinoa very, very well. I'm going to add some salt to the water, and I'm going to add my quinoa. Okay, and I'm going to cover the pot, reduce the heat to a simmer, and let that go for about 15 minutes. And the quinoa should absorb all the liquid, and then we'll just fluff it up and add it to our roasted vegetables once those are out of the oven. So my quinoa is almost done. I have it on really, really low just to make sure to evaporate any of the remaining water that's on it. And I'm going to take out the squash, which has been cooking for about 20 minutes. And it's looking beautiful. I'm going to put it right here. And now what I want to do is find my 5 garlic cloves so that I can squeeze them out of their skins for the salad dressing that I'm making. So just like that. My fingers smell like roasted garlic. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. Okay, so I've got my 5 garlic cloves in here, and I'm going to mash them up. Okay, I'm going to add my grated fresh ginger. And since there's always some ginger left in my little grater, what I like to do is pour some vinegar over top, and that kind of picks up any of that remaining grated ginger. And now I want to season this really well. So of course, salt and pepper. And I'm going to add some more vinegar because that was only about a tablespoon. I want to do 1 more tablespoon. And I'm going to whisk this all together. And I'm going to add some oil. You don't need much, just maybe about a tablespoon. This isn't a real traditional vinaigrette. This is just more of a coating for our butternut squash and quinoa. Now this in itself would be really delicious. Okay, and I'm going to add my pumpkin seeds now. And my dried cranberries. Toss those in. And I have my quinoa here, which is completely cooked through. And you can tell when quinoa is cooked through when the little curlicue comes out of the seed. And as you can see, it's nice and dehydrated as well. I made sure that there's no water left on the bottom, so I had it on really low heat toward the last 5 minutes. And I'm just going to dump all of this in here. Okay. And I'm going to toss this so that it absorbs all of our roasted garlic vinaigrette. And now I'm going to add the roasted butternut squash and onions. And you want to toss this in carefully because the squash is so delicate at this point. And there we go. Now I have this nice vintage serving bowl that's perfect for this side dish. Just load it up with this quinoa salad. So here's my red quinoa and roasted butternut squash salad with dried cranberries, pumpkin seeds, and a roasted garlic vinaigrette. So I'm gonna give myself a little serving because I am gonna save this for dinner tonight. but I am really excited to try this wonderful side dish, which can also serve as a main dish, by the way. With all this quinoa, it's pretty protein packed. And I'm gonna make sure to get a little bit of everything. Okay, so some pumpkin seeds, some cranberry, some quinoa, and a piece of nice roasted butternut squash. So nice. The quinoa is so nice and nutty, and of course a little bit of delicious nuttiness from the pumpkin seeds, and then I have the sweetness from the squash as well as the dried cranberries, and then this nice little sharpness from the red onion, and the roasted garlic is really nice. It's mellow, it doesn't feel like you're getting too much garlic, and the ginger adds this nice little exotic character, which I think really ties together everything. Okay, one more bite. So if you're looking for a festive side dish for your holiday table, I think this is it. You get all the wonderful fall and winter produce in this one dish. And then you have the grain, the quinoa in this case, which adds this level of nuttiness, also adds some protein, and it's a great filling side dish or main dish for whenever you want to enjoy it. So let me know what you think about this recipe, which you can find linked in the description below. And please don't forget to like and subscribe. And thank you again for watching.